In moments of conflict, the actions of a few can change the fate of the entire galaxy. These Shatterpoints, filled with strife, aren't wars waged between massive armies. Instead, small teams of the galaxy's most significant figures battle it out wherever the fight takes them. In Star Wars Shatterpoint, players will assemble battle-worthy strike teams of iconic characters like Ahsoka Tano and Lord Maul, and fight to lead their side of the conflict to victory.
Hey everybody, I'm Spencer, and in this video we're unboxing Star Wars Shatterpoint from Atomic Mass Games to show off everything that's inside and give you the essential details you need to decide if the game is a good fit for you. We're also giving you a chance to play out your own Star Wars battles by giving away a brand new copy of the game. So stick around until the end of the video to learn how to enter. For now, let's shred that shrink wrap, lift that lid, and see what's inside. But first of all, Atomic Mass Games has included a double-sided art backdrop for you to stage your figures for epic photos, which you can then share to your Instagram followers who may or may not care. The single punch board contains objective, status, damage, and injury tokens you'll use in various situations. This 39-page rulebook explains everything you need to know to play the Shatterpoint core set. Shatterpoint unquestionably falls into the category of your standard miniatures game, like Star Wars Legion or the many Warhammer titles. There's that mix of freedom and restriction in the game's style. For example, there are no spaces or paths in the playing area to stay within like many board games, but movement or a weapon's range are still restricted by measured distance. Also, other than the requirement of using a 36 by 36 inch playing area, you're pretty much left to create your own battlefield. The rulebook explains that the battlefield should contain a mix of terrain features of various sizes and shapes, and encourages players to create visually interesting environments. This type of rule set does require many conditional and situational nuances to what's happening in the game. Now, while each individual concept is not necessarily complex, the amount of information players need to keep up with the 33 pages of rules could become overwhelming for some. Now, be aware that the rulebook does not contain instructions for assembly. You can view and/or print those on the Shatterpoint website. Speaking of assembly, the next items out of the box are the building and terrain sprues. You'll need to clip out all the parts needed for the 23 finished pieces and assemble them yourself. You'll definitely need the appropriate tools too. If you don't have clippers, mold line remover, or hobby glue, you'll need to purchase them. Check out this video's description for links to the tools we're using. As an inexperienced miniatures assembler, I was able to assemble the buildings without much trouble. So I have clipped out all 4 pieces of the exterior of the tech shed, and I didn't clip it too close, so I still have a little bit of excess plastic here. I'm gonna use this little tool to kind of shave that off. Nothing different than peeling a potato for Mama's potato pie casserole. We're gluing on the edge. Can never have too much glue. Now that we're at the sprues containing the 16 characters, I should mention that I did recruit Rosa from the warehouse team to help me assemble the miniatures because I almost broke Anakin's lightsaber.
And honestly, they say use very little glue.
Can never have too much glue. So the total amount of time we spent so far assembling the buildings and the miniatures is about 8 hours. Now notice I said so far. We still have several miniatures to go. Now as you can see, none of the models actually come painted. Of course, paint isn't required, but it definitely helps. Rosa is also an expert painter and will be putting out a video soon of her painting a few of these figures and buildings. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Now, the outcome of attacks in Shatterpoint are determined by the blue attack and gray defense dice. Though a unit's base attack and defense values add to the total, sometimes the outcome of an epic lightsaber duel can come down to the roll of a single die. In Shatterpoint, your goal is to lead your strike teams and squads to a mission victory. Now, this core set comes with a single mission card, Shifting Priorities, which gives an overall structure to the game. To achieve victory, you must win 2 struggles that unfold during the game. Randomly chosen struggle cards reveal which objectives players will battle to control. Once a struggle has been won, a new struggle is drawn and identifies the next active objective. Now, both sides of the conflict, divided into the Clone Wars and Galactic Civil War eras, will choose character units based on their abilities, like Asajj Ventress's Dathomirian dexterity, or Bo-Katan's Mandalore Will Survive ability. As they fight to control objectives, combat trees give players multiple options to choose from based on the outcome at each branching path, such as damage, conditions, and actions. There are rules in place to ensure players have balanced teams, but ultimately, players are free to choose whoever they like. Momentum cubes gained and lost in a struggle is tracked on the struggle tracker, giving you a visual representation of the back and forth tug of war that makes up these battles. Upon the completion of each struggle, trackers reset, ready for a new objective. When a character advances, they use the movement tool to move anywhere it reaches on the same level it's currently in, or for ranged attacks, the appropriate tool is used to determine the targets a weapon can hit. So the barrier of entry to this game is high for many people. If you're only interested in the game because it's Star Wars, well, there are many other great Star Wars games to consider, with fewer rules and little to no assembly. Imperial Assault and Outer Rim are really good alternatives. If you'd like to get into miniatures gaming, Shatterpoint is also not the best for beginners. The amount of assembly required, the minimal assembly instructions, and even the breadth of the rules you need to learn mean this game is better suited to more seasoned players of this type of game. Some other determining factors to consider: this is strictly a conflict-based 2-player game, with a recommended age range of 14 and up and an average playing time of 90 minutes. You can definitely get a lot of play out of this core set, but if you give this game a shot and really want to dive in, you can add to the variety of your gaming sessions with additional sets that contain more missions, characters, and terrain. Hooray, you made it to the end of the video! To say thanks, we're giving away a brand new copy of the game we just covered, Star Wars Shatterpoint. Just click the link in the description below and you'll be taken to a page with multiple ways to add entries to the giveaway. The submission period ends on June 11th at 11:59 p.m. and we'll contact the winner on Monday the 12th. Or if you don't feel like entering a giveaway or don't end up winning, you can always buy Shatterpoint at GameNerds.com. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Game Nerds channel so you don't miss out on future tabletop gaming content.